Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to some more Project Zomboid. 10 years later mod playing as Colonel Kurtz, the long-abandoned insurgent in search of, purpose, meaning, and really a reason to live right now with severe depression and all of that. We return at a very peculiar time and a very difficult time for him. I woke up in the middle of the night feeling sick. Strength and healing severely reduced. I'm also hungry, I have severe depression, heavily loaded, and I have minor pain from the laceration that I suffered the other day. Now, at the very least, I know that feeling sick is not due to the infection, or it might be due to a infection, but it's not due to the zombie virus, because that only, I think, leaves you feeling nauseous, and then you slowly lose health because of it. But now, because of this, I can tell that I'm fine. Although there is another way to tell whether you're infected or not. But first of all, I'll grab something to eat really quickly with one hand. I mean, truly, the Colonel is quite skilled. You can eat a whole can of peaches with one hand. That's dare I say, quite the accomplishment. Okay, so let's clean this bandage. We can drop this on the floor, leave the bandage in the backpack, and I think we can move on from here, I'm pretty sure. I'm going to use the flashlight to get around, because it is incredibly dark, and I would like for primarily for you to be able to see what I'm doing and where I'm going, because the YouTube compression does look a bit worse on your end, or it looks a bit darker. Okay, so the way to know you're not infected when you have the queasy outlet is, moodlet, sorry, is you take a look at your health, and if it says okay, you're good. If it says slightly damaged, no matter what you do, you're pretty much doomed. All right. So I realized that getting sick was from something else. I don't know if it's the corpses nearby the van where I slept. It might have been that, but they're not really close to me per se. So I don't really know. I mean, I guess it could always be that. It could be something else too, but always a possibility, right? Okay. Turns out when I'm rested, I'm a lot better with this machete than I thought. Although I guess the same could be said for the spear too, if it's true for the machete. And that's with, yeah, I'm just nauseous now. So it was probably due to corpses being near me when I was, yeah? Yeah, most likely due to the corpses. Okay. Well, if that's the case, then I realize I'm still a little bit hungry. I'm going to grab another can of something. Let's say this can of chili. Of course, food's been a little bit difficult to come by for the Colonel in the recent few months, and he's lost a bit of weight. And I think now it's time to regain it. Plus, might help with the feeling of overwhelming depression. Speaking of, do I have antidepressants? Yes, I do. I should start taking antidepressants. And I will. And in fact, I'm going to keep them on hand. Like so, but I'm going to put the knife away because I don't need it. And then that should be okay. All things considered. Now, it is very, very late in the evening, and I probably shouldn't be doing this in the middle of the night, but there's nothing else for me to do right now. Whilst reading... Ooh, there's some of them indoors, okay. Whilst reading, sort of before bed, I got more acquainted with the journal that I found, and with the previous adventures of one Sylvester Jones. And well, let's just say the man got around. Apparently, I was right. And from what I can tell, he's been all over Raven Creek. Well, not all over it, but he's been around most of Raven Creek. He hasn't found any more insurgents, living or dead. So, to my mind, that means that he's probably alone. And apparently they were dropped here, or he was dropped here on accident. They were supposed to be dropped near Rosewood, which isn't that far away. But, yeah. Maybe I can find more insurgents if I head that way, though I doubt it. The plan remains pretty much the same. Considering that, shall we say, from past experience with the what remains of the government, I know that insurgents that come here do not end up leaving. They are tasked with retrieving the artifacts and destroying them. And if they do retrieve them, I guess what happens is you probably end up getting a bomb dropped on top of your head. So I know that the ones that end up surviving in the zone long enough to find the vial and the documents, which links the government to pretty much the outbreak, don't live to tell about it. I think it's safe to assume that there is not going to be an extraction waiting for my friend. Be he alive or dead. Well, friend, I never met the person, but I feel like I've grown to know him quite well through his journal. Whatever the case may be, though, I don't think there's extraction waiting for him anywhere, and as a result, I think Raven Creek has run out of anything useful to give for me. And so, I think it's time to leave. And my plan for leaving is pretty much the same as it was previously, although it kind of revolves around finding a car one way or another, either on this side of the highway or on the other side of the fence. But I do need to find a car somehow. I would very much like for that to be on this side of on that side of the fence, because I can get it out of Raven Creek more easily. And so, I mean, even then, even if I don't, walking to the first town outside of the quarantine of the town I'm currently in isn't that terrible of an idea, as it's not that bad, so... Ooh, hello. Quite a number of them here. It's getting a bit more visible, shall we say. I think I can go back to using the spear. Still kind of difficult to see, but it's not that bad. Gotta say, the antidepressants are not helping one bit. Just saying. Although, if you think about it, you get sent on a suicide mission, practically, to retrieve what you perceive at the time as probably the only hope of humanity finding a cure, a vaccine of some description, some kind of hope, right? You get there, you suffer through the horrors of having to live through a post-apocalyptic society like this. You struggle for food, for ammo, for medicine. Your men that you're dropped with die along the way, one after the other. You start losing them. You have to put them down after they're bitten, and so on and so forth. As soon as they start feeling nauseous, you don't know if it's food poisoning or they've been scratched somewhere or something. You have to put them down just in case. You start losing what little of humanity you have left doing all of that, and once you get to your final destination, once you get there, you realize it's all been a lie. There's no cure, there's no vaccine. The only thing waiting for you there is an airstrike on top of your head. Just waiting for a confirmation that you found it. And after all of that, if you still, by some god's miracle, have a little bit of will to live and a little bit of hope left in you, well, what happens then is even that gets demolished because you just have to survive in Raven Creek now. There's nobody coming for you. There's nobody that's gonna help you, and you're just there in the city of the dead, or in the town of the dead, I suppose. So day after day, for a whole year, you try and scrape together an existence, and one after the other, you lose all your men until you're left alone with survivor's guilt galore. And if that's not enough, your camp burns down. That wasn't much of a camp, but like I said, the Colonel and his men survived mostly as nomads. That's a ridiculously massive horde, but it's good that they're kind of stuck there, I guess. Okay. Well, visibility's not all that bad, so I can actually fight them here, and I'm gonna need to fight them. But I mean, look at that spear, seriously. Just look at that. That's one hell of a weapon, right? Okay, that looked like a breach in the fence, and I was about to be a bit scared, but no. It's fine. Okay, I just talked about how good the spear is. Don't let me down now. There you go. Lovely, although I do need to repair it. Yeah, I guess I'll go. I'm good with that. I mean, the depression's gone. Temporarily, at least. I get a feeling it's going to stay with me forever, but the physical effects of it, at least for the time being, seem to be gone. Okay, good. Very elegant weapon, too, if you think about it. Just thrust at a distance keeps you from getting dirty, although, you know, with the absolute lack of water that we have, it's really not the thing that's going to make the biggest difference, don't get me wrong, but still, keep things at a distance, elegantly sort of thrust your way through endless hordes of undead. Sounds like a great advertisement for, well, it could be anything, really. Any kind of melee weapon. But, yeah. It's gonna break relatively soon, though. That's okay. I'm just hoping it'll last until West Point. Do I know where that is? I get the feeling I know where that is, but just to make sure. I get the feeling that going to last me at least until I find a hand file or another kind of spear. Pretty sure the improvised ones from shovels are the best ones in terms of durability. Because I think random ones that you can make from sticks and stuff, I don't think they're going to last very long. Which, to be fair, they don't need to, because there's plenty of them, but still. There you go. Right, it wasn't very far away, was it? There's the breach in the fence. There was a breach in the fence, correct? Yeah, I think it's somewhere near here. Okay, just gotta be careful not to get complacent. Kind of fascinating how this thing keeps getting reinfected even though the infection was gone. But I guess not much I can do about that right now. Down he goes. Got to be careful around here. I think there's a number of them in these trees. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, that was very fast. That was very fast indeed. Lovely. Let's keep going. The breach in the fence shouldn't be far away, he says, even though I don't see it yet. Did I miss it? Is it the other way? Can't be the other way, right? Check the map again. Well, I'm getting remarkably close to the tunnel. And I don't see the breach in the fence yet. I could just try and construct my way out of this problem, but I'd rather not, honestly. And clearly I've been around here before. Or at least someone has. Okay. There it is. Just gotta get rid of Okay, I was gonna say a few. There's a bit more than a few, but don't screech. It's going to attract more attention, and more attention is not something I want right now. Oh, there they come. All the surrounding areas. Fine. Where the hell did you come from? More? Alright. The way I see it, the more I kill here, the fewer I'm going to have to deal with on the road. And I mean literally on the road, not metaphorically in my travels. I mean literally when I get onto the asphalt. Right. There we go. Now, there's a lot of cars here. Most of them look busted. I'm not going to spend the next 2 days checking each and every one of them for fuel and a working battery. Instead, though, I'm going to check the ones on the other side of the quarantine zone. At least that's my plan. Because even if I find a car here that works, I still don't really have a way to get it out the other end, I don't think. Unless there's a great big gate at the front of the exclusion zone, but I somehow don't think so. Speaking of, when I say exclusion zone, I mean the Raven Creek exclusion zone. This entire county is in a sort of exclusion zone, but that's a much bigger one, so I'll show you. This is one exclusion zone, but within it, Raven Creek is sort of a separate exclusion zone. Basically, that just shows you the chronology of how things developed. Initially, the outbreak happened in, I think, 3 or 4 of the towns nearby at the same time, and then Raven Creek had a little bit of a, well, advanced notice, I guess. They had time to prepare for things, and they tried to set up a fence and a perimeter. But that didn't really work. Infections started showing up within the city or within the town, and eventually, I think I don't think the exclusion zone was ever breached. Like the Raven Creek exclusion zone was ever breached. I think the one they set up outside of town, like the actual fence outside of town, all of it, like a huge box, still works, and the entrance is still sealed. But the virus was airborne, and there were infections inside after a bit, and it held out long, certainly longer than other places, but yeah, just not long enough, I suppose. Right, I'm gonna remove the battery off of this thing, and I'm gonna dismantle the flashlight too. Not because I really need it, but just because I want to get some practice with electronics. Okay, battery seems to be working fine. This car, I don't know if it has any fuel, but it looks like it's in okay condition. I just don't have the keys for it, and I don't know how to turn it on, unfortunately. This one, pretty much the same thing, I'm afraid. Although this one does have an empty gas can. Might be useful for later. If I find a car with keys and no gas, I can get back to the gas can and get gas from all the other donor cars, of which there's like 5 million around here, so I don't think that's fuel. I don't think fuel's ever going to be a problem. Plenty of that around here. Of course, I would not be me if I didn't notice the glaring issue that fuel does have an expiration date. This is not something I knew, actually, until somewhat recently, but apparently fuel doesn't last very long at all. It's in fact lasts a very short amount of time, relatively speaking. I think a year or 3 years, something along those lines. Most types of fuel. Yeah, dead battery, no fuel. That's kind of the problem with, I think, most cars that I've found over time. Batteries ran out. And there is a thing called passive discharge of the battery. If you don't fill it, it will just run out on its own, even though the car's not working. I don't know how much of a thing it is on modern cars, but back in the day I think it was more of a problem. Okay, hello. You down. And yeah, that's... that's the gate. So you can get inside, but you can't leave. Well, you can't really get inside either because of that thing. They don't know how to jump it, but... potentially speaking, you could get inside. Okay. Let me think about this. How do we do this? How do we do this? I don't have a sledgehammer, and I haven't had any luck finding one in ages, so I don't think one's going to turn up randomly. I think the best course of action for me is to go and build a really tall staircase. Yeah, just get here, build a staircase like that, and then drop down. And I reckon I'm healthy enough to drop down with everything going on here, right? Yeah, I think so too. Oh yeah, I'm having a dialogue with myself now. Now I've gone completely insane. But okay. Dead battery? No. Fuel. Story of pretty much every vehicle I've found in Raven Creek. Unfortunately. Okay. Fine. At least we got to the end of the fence. We now know what's there. I thought there would be some kind of... maybe some kind of, gate or something, but no, that thing's permanently locked. Which means... I go around, down there, build the thing, jump over, and we're off towards Rosewood, I suppose? This should be Rosewood. And then I'll probably skip on Rosewood and keep going down. I think down there looks interesting. But yeah, that's the general idea. So let's get to it. Okay. We're on the other side of the fence. Well, this side of the fence. I went down the right path this time rather than the left one. And I wanted to get building, basically, right? So go carpentry and stairs, and I'm only level 5 carpentry. Which means we have a big problem. And that is, I've lost my hat. Yeah, I got grabbed by a feral up there. Didn't do any damage, although I think he might have bit through... some of my, I think the shirt or something, he might have torn up a bit or something. Yeah, the top tank and the shirt. This one has 2 holes in it somehow. Either way, oh yeah, the one on the laceration on the chest too. He didn't do any damage to me, shockingly enough. He just, I think he just scratched the shirt. Fair enough, I removed the bandage, everything's fine, I'm in good health, that's all good, but I can't get the stairs up. Which is a pretty big problem, and I did have some fun with these guys here. I've even shot a few rounds off the rifle. And trying to figure out what to do next. And in my disappointment to realize that I can't build the stairs, I sort of sat down and had to think about it, and, well, I came to 2 solutions. One is, well, to just abandon the idea of leaving the town. Now, I don't want to do that, but if I can't build the staircase, it's going to take me, and that's the second option, it's going to take me, like, days, literally, to just sit here and start building fences and start building boxes and stuff like that to get carpentry up to level 6. And remember, I don't have a carpentry book to speed up progress. So I'm going to be here without a hat, in the sun, building up dozens and dozens of tables, chairs, and boxes just to get carpentry up to level 6 to get stairs to get into this, to get on the other side of the camp. So it's either that or go back to town. And I don't like either options. And then it dawned on me, hold on, isn't the fence supposed to be there? In other words, I wanted to check this first before I actually committed to doing it, because basically I wanted to check this live with everyone. Oh dear Lord in heaven, that's a lot of them. And one's feral. Okay, run. Right, come on. There you go. Yeah. We're out of Raven Creek. So it turns out the perimeter did not... You didn't even notice you were feral. Turns out the perimeter didn't hold. That fence was blown up and they flooded the town through the tunnel. Yeah, there's the highway. We're out of Raven Creek. In a very, very, very anti-climactic manner. But we're out. We're out of the quarantine area. Turns out there was a way out the entire time. And what's even better than that, I saw a couple of armored vehicles out there and things inside that might be useful. Now, granted, there's probably about 7,000 zombies in there, and I'm going to have a hard time clearing them all out. But it is possible to clear them out. And I don't need to clear out the entire camp, I just need to clear out the garage area, which seems to be nearby. Yeah, I mean, it's incredible. I didn't know. I wanted to, like I said, I wanted to check. So I was stepping out of character here and not really role-playing, but I wanted to check on camera, right? To make sure I'm not just being silly, and I wanted to get the actual live reaction for everyone. But yeah, there you go. We're out of Raven Creek. I didn't know that the fence was blown up and that I could just leave. Yeah, that's, not gonna lie, that's awesome. I mean, kind of, I guess. Like I said, a bit anticlimactic, but also a bit awesome. So, yay, I suppose. Right, let's clean this bandage, that's the one I took off last, and I'm assuming most of the clothing here is going to be... Ooh, beef jerky. Yes, please. Assuming most of the clothing is going to be damaged and full of holes in it. But this fence also has a way in here, so turns out Raven Creek is just mostly isolated. Not fully, though. And that means... Ooh, is that a spear? Or is it a fire poker of some description? No, it's a spear with an ice pick. I'll take it. I'll take it. This one's about to break, and I can switch to the other one when it does. Right, so I mean, I'm just taken aback by it more so than anything else. I really thought that this was this would have to be some sort of, well, not to downplay what I've done thus far, but like some sort of grand adventure in which, where the hell did those come from down there? Okay, let's put it like this: you can't escape Raven Creek if you're dead, mate. So. Okay. Yeah, that was dangerous. Even though, like I said, technically I already escaped it, but that was needlessly dangerous. Where the hell... There was an entire horde, like, that came up just behind me. There's more coming from over there. Okay. What the hell? That was a gunshot. I don't mean my silenced assault rifle. I mean, that was a gunshot from, like, a... I don't know, a hunting rifle of some description? Oh, no, that just screwed me. Someone just wanted to get me killed. Shite. Yes, someone's watching me. Oh, crap. Yeah, that's not good. Someone was definitely watching me and just attracted like 5,000 of the undead towards me. Crap. Maybe I can lead them around, like, and then go back, right? Lose them in this sort of thick forestry here and then go down the other end. I probably shouldn't run. Should save my strength. Good news, there's not that many ferals. There was just one that I killed, and there don't appear to be more also outside in the forest over here. This seems pretty empty too, so maybe I can get away with this. You could not have... That gunshot was not an accident. A single gunshot from a carbine of some description, like a hunting rifle. That's what it sounded like, but a single shot so close to me? No way. Let's just hope that whoever it was, I've lost them by doing this kind of maneuver and they might have moved on. But if they haven't and they have me in their scopes, I mean, what can I do about that, right? Too late now. If they want to kill me, they'll just kill me. Nothing I can do. Time to get my beret back, though. That's not my beret, but you get the idea. It's a beret. Christ almighty, okay. That was terrifying. Out of all the things that could have happened, that was probably the most terrifying. And I'm really not one for paranoia, but... there is no way that's anything other than... attempted murder, straight up. Well, I mean, I don't see anyone. Doesn't mean they're not there, but... trying to keep an eye out. This is keeping me a bit busy. I think the most unsettling thing is it's probably some rather sadistic bastard. Because instead of shooting me, he decided to get me surrounded by a horde. Although, if he's survived in the area so long... I doubt he managed to maintain his sanity. So I can't exactly blame him in that sense, but... I guess I can try and sneak through, sort of, keep my head down. Definitely. Ultimately try and use this to my advantage, because a lot of them appear to have left the camp, heading south. So I guess I could use the vacancy of this area to try and clear out a few more of the undead, and maybe pick up some weapons. Yeah, this place has been picked clean. Not this one, though. Okay, yeah, I saw him coming. Alright, come on. So there are weapons here. Weapons and ammo in the locked cabinets. Take note of that as we move, because I don't want to get stuck there. I also really like whatever that is. Maybe I can get on top of the tower and try and see something in the woods, but that's dangerous. I'm going to be skylining. I'm going to stick out like a sore thumb. Conspiracy theory? Maybe it's another one of those insurgents. Alternative conspiracy theory? Maybe it's a survivor that was scared of me getting to the guns here and didn't have any ammo for himself, and thought, you know, instead of shooting me and missing, maybe just fire one off. Maybe he did miss, I don't know, I didn't hear where the bullet landed. I thought maybe, you know, one bullet left, might as well release the horde on him instead of shooting him. Because it was a fair distance away, it's not like it was 100 meters away, it would have been louder, but it was still fairly close. Actually, it might have been around 100 meters, but no. 200 at least. But I'm not buying that it was an accident and just unfortunate timing. There was more to that. Now, this is what I'm looking for. These vehicles here. Okay, wait. Sorry about that. Second. Give me a second, sorry. Okay, I'm so sorry about that. That was a delivery at the door. Alright. Where was I? Yeah, these vehicles are what I'm most interested in. That blob of about 500 undead, not so much. Let's just say, not so much, but yeah. This is good, this is good. Let's see if I can get inside the APC. B, let's see if I can pry open the APC. Come on, please. Okay, unfortunately it's empty. But we can work with this. It's in good condition. Alright. Gonna take a second here, catch my breath. And we're gonna continue from here next time. I reckon we use one of these vehicles. Well, maybe not. Depends on if I can find keys for them or not, but we use a vehicle from the area, load it up with anything we can find in the base. We get out of here.